So we'll move on to the card counter, a movie starring Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, Tye Sheridan, and Willem Dafoe. Redemption is the long game, and Paul Schrader's the card counter, told with Schrader's trademark cinematic intensity. The revenge thriller tells the story of an ex-military interrogator turned gambler haunted by the ghost of his past. The card counter. Greg.
So I went into this movie thinking I'm really going to like this because it's Oscar Isaac and I like card movies, Rounders being probably the best of these movies.
Sure.
And, you know, it starts out very card heavy. It does. And you feel like, oh, this is going to matter. And, you know, there's the idea of him going through like the World Series of Poker and all these things. And then it kind of just goes away from that. And Tye Sheridan is brought in and his character doesn't necessarily make sense.
He looked like Tye Sheridan's character, especially when he comes in and he's wearing like a cut off Ford Mustang shirt. He just looks like he should be on like King of the Hill.
Yeah. It was a great TV show, but you know, it's one of those weird things. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. But it lost a lot of steam after that. It becomes kind of like this military like background, you know, what were you in? Abu Dhabi thing and military torture kind of idea. And
Azerbaijan.
I never know how to say that. I'm sorry.
Sorry. And
it's essentially it's a military torture kind of like background thing is what it comes down to. And so that's what Oscar Isaac was going through. And then Tye Sheridan's character, his dad was part of this as well. And Willem Dafoe is kind of the villain in this movie, is the way to look at it. But it just doesn't work. It works in a way because Oscar Isaac is so good at acting.
Can I point something out?
Yeah.
What's with the taco meat?
The taco meat?
Yeah.
It's hot in here. It's very warm in here.
Really, you need a gold chain, I think.
I do need a gold chain. That'd be sick.
And some verbose chest hair.
That'd be sick. I just cannot. I don't have any extra hair.
Just no hair to spare?
No hair to spare. Sorry for everyone out there. It's just very warm in here. But it's just one of those things where the movie has all the basics to make you think it's gonna be good. And then it just doesn't work its way.
Makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work itself to a conclusion that works. And that is the problem with this.
Or movie. A beginner, middle, or end.
Well, I think the beginning is, I think like all the stuff that leads up to it. And then like once you get to the middle, it's just like, what is going on now? So that's for me where it's at.
I think that this movie was a clusterfuck. I think that the only thing that made it watchable was Oscar Isaac. I thought that Tiffany Haddish, her character, she maybe overacted a little bit. The Tye Sheridan character, who he's probably most famous, so far as I know, for Ready Player One.
Right.
And like his character just was pointless. Like there was no, I'm going to set this kid on the right path and I'm going to give him all this money and then he's going to do the wrong thing anyway. And then to follow that up, I'm going to do the wrong thing. And it's like, it's like the parts that I cared about, all the card playing, because they left this breadcrumb pointing towards, he's going to make a run at the World Series of Poker. He's going to take out this guy who, is supposedly Ukrainian and wears American stuff and chants USA. The movie's called The Card Counter. And it shows you him counting cards with blackjack, and it does the whole setup, right? This is how you count cards. This is +1. This is -1. You just have to count them and divide them by how many decks are still left, and that's what your score is. And that's how you count cards. And then it fucking plays blackjack again for the rest of the movie.
Right.
And so like all the stuff that I care about, which was the poker thing, because when you said, hey, let's watch this movie called The Card Counter, I was like, cool, I love rounders. And instead we got like Worm from Rounders meets the opening half hour of Zero Dark 30. And the whole thing was a complete and utter mess. I think that the only movie that we've watched since we started doing consistent movie reviews that this is better than is Cherry. I would say The Bubble is better than this, because at least it was stupid and it was bad, but at least it made sense. It had a consistent through line.
I mean, I still did not like The Bubble at all.
No, I didn't either, but it was better than this. And this is the thing is, like, we were talking off screen about this being like Oscar bait, and it's like, well, the only Oscar that this
Oscar Isaac bait
is Oscar Isaac bait, but the only Oscar that this is going to bait outside of August is The Grouch.
It's weird. I mean, it was a movie built to have a good idea and just didn't know what to do with it. I think it really did, and it's like
it was,
and that's what's sad to me.
This movie sucked.
Well, so would you give it, Brandon? Out of,
I gave Cherry a 3?
3, yeah,
3.5.
I give it a 4, and just because Oscar Isaac is good, I think we make that whole different.
Okay, so Oscar Isaac makes this moderately watchable.
We both finished the movie.
I didn't want to. I will say that it was rough. It was a labor of love. And when I say labor of love, it was a labor of love to be able to have a comprehensive and coherent conversation about how absolutely fucking awful that this movie was on this podcast.
The one thing I will say, it's always nice to watch a bad movie just so you like enjoy the good movies. You know what I mean? Like to watch a really bad movie and be like, oh, okay. So if I watch like a movie that's like half decent, you're like, oh, I get that.
Windfall,
yeah.
Better or worse?
Windfall is better than this.
There was
the acting was better.
There was at least like, I really like the score in Windfall. I think that's the primary thing I said of when we did that review.
Yeah.
This movie, I'm getting Gordon Ramsay, was absolute donkey dick.